What is up everyone, and we are back with another guide about Phantasy Star Online 2. Today we are talking about how to farm Bewitched Woods. Now I don't know about you guys, but when I first saw this expedition, I went out and tried it by myself on the hardest difficulty. It's just an expedition. Well, I was wrong and I died within seconds of roaming around. So this guide is dedicated for everyone out there who died and needs some help with this expedition. Now if you look at the title, it says the ultimate Bewitched Woods guide. And that's because this gameplay is exactly like any other ultimate quest. You run around and kill mobs endlessly. Don't go to the second stage as the boss drops are pretty terrible, but you do get 50 star gems on your first completion, so do that by yourself or with your party, and then when farming in a full map, don't do the boss again. First, you need to know what drops from here, what's worth farming this expedition or ultimate quest. You can look up the item list by clicking on the expedition and select view quest log, and from there you can see the item drops, augment jumps, and enemy that appear in the map. What you don't see is that it drops Chaos Malice Stones, which is used to upgrade the Goblin series weapons, and Kalesis boosters to upgrade units and Elvida weapons into Kalesis versions. Both the Goblin and Kalesis are requirements in creating the 14-star Lumineer weapon. This Lumineer and an Atlas weapon are exchanged at the Zig shop for a 15-star Atlas EX weapon. It's an easy 15-star weapon. On top of this, take note of the leg piece Allure Aid. This piece specifically is for range attackers, as it gives 85 range attack and 17 to PP, and that's the endgame unit piece for episode 6, and that's the main reason I'm farming Bewitched Woods. So if this expedition is for you, here are some tips. Map selection is a must. Sometimes you get a good map and sometimes you get a bad one. A good one is one that circles around so you can always farm endlessly while going around in circles. A bad one are straight line maps, ones that don't circle around and they all lead to dead ends. This is terrible because you always have to backtrack, wasting time when the time could be better spent farming. Then sometimes some people fall behind and spawn mobs behind everyone else, which causes more backtracking and a less efficient farm. So if you search the whole map and you see you got a map like this with a bunch of dead ends and no circles, just go and kill the boss in the second stage and exit to try another map. Next is join a map with a high amount of players. More players means more damage, and more damage means more drops. On top of this, always party up. Having a full party of 4 gives you a 40% try boost effect. That's 40% EXP, 40% rare drop rate, and 40% extra Meseta. Follow everyone around the map. Don't venture off on your own because that's only going to cause mobs to spawn around you, and that will severely impact everyone else as the map has a spawn limit, so always stay with the herd. Weapons. Always use the highest damage weapon you got, and by this point most of us has decent weapons and can do this farm easily. One thing that trumps all the other weapons is getting a weapon with lifesteal. Having this S4 slot augment on your weapon makes it so you can endlessly farm without having to go back to the ship to buy more mates. What this augment does is it heals you for 1% of damage dealt by all sources, by your character and your mag, up to 30 health per instance. In most cases you can get a full health within seconds. This augment skyrockets your survivability, and more time in the map means more time fighting bosses and more time getting drops. Now this S4 lifesteal augment is good for range classes and fast attacking classes, and if that's not for you, then disregard this. To get an S4 lifesteal augment, you need to get an Atlas Owls. This is achieved by going to the Zig exchange shop by exchanging a 13-star Gunblade Desynthesis materials and the 13-star Gunblade Val Owls. Do not buy this on the market as you can easily farm this through the collection folder. The collection folder is located in the gate area from the equipment officer NPC. All it requires you to do is do urgent quests or trigger quests. And don't forget to use your rare drop boosters for that huge % boost to every completion. When you have your Atlas Owls plus 35, it's going to have an SAF or special ability factor of S4 lifesteal. Augment that onto your weapon, then go to the item scientist and you have 2 choices. First is S-grade augment transfer onto another weapon with another S4 slot. You do need an S4 augment on that weapon to swap it over, as this method just swaps one S4 on one weapon for the other S4 on the other weapon. Or you can go back to Zig and select Change Weapon Category and select the Atlas series. From there you can change your Atlas Gunblade for any other Atlas weapon of your choice. It requires specific desynthesized material from specific weapon types. Be sure to check out the requirements as they differ from each weapon type. When you do this, all the augments will transfer, including the S4 Augment Lifesteal. Now if you don't want Lifesteal or can't get it, then don't worry about it. Next is your rare drop weapon. This is a weapon you switch to right after the boss dies and before you break the crystal or before the boss dies. This weapon should have Lucky Charm 3 and Temptation for a total of 20% rare drop rate. This ensures you have a 20% drop rate to every red crystal you break. If you watched my first major video about farming the ultimate quest guide, then you already know about this, and sadly a lot of the stock is sold out or it's really expensive. The weapon I'm talking about is Umbra Cane. This is the only weapon that can get these two augments unless you use your augment transfer passes onto another weapon. This weapon is dropped by Umbra, which is from the UQ Gone with the Rain and Wind, a UQ that is out of rotation and it's been about 3 months since we last saw it. So in my opinion, buy one if you can afford it, or buy the best one you can afford. I personally just use my Nemesis launcher with Lucky Charm 3 on it for a 10% rare drop rate boost. Next up, we're going to be talking about your mag. It's highly recommended to put all trigger actions into HP Recovery A. If you don't have 8 trigger action slots, you can add them by buying Mag Support Expansion Kit to add another 3 trigger slots for a total of 8 trigger slots. But if you have Lifesteal like what I do, then you don't need those HP Recovery A. And what I put is Status Recovery B, which gives a 25% chance to cleanse a status effect with a cooldown of 12 minutes per trigger action. So if all of them are Status Recovery B, then you will have a very good chance of being nearly immune to status effects most of the time. Status effects are Burn, Poison, Freeze, Shock, Panic, and others. To buy these support trigger actions or support devices, it's from the Photon Drop Swapper in the shopping plaza. For Photon Blast, it's highly recommended just to use Sidis Proi for more PP recovery. The other one, Julius Nifto, which is highly recommended for a lot of other situations, summons a black hole and sucks in all enemies within it except for bosses. But it's not recommended in Bewitched Woods because most of the mobs aren't the problem. The bosses take quite a while, and Sidis Proi is a way better option in my opinion. To change your Photon Blast, go to the X Cube Exchanger in the shopping plaza and buy one using 8 X Cubes. Then go to your mag and select Use Device and use it onto your mag. Next up is boosting your rare drop rate. First, always use rare drop booster 250% and try boosters whenever you can. You can also get a 50% daily boost by completing daily client orders from the daily order officer in the gate area. If you have an alliance, be sure to go to the tree and accept the rare drop rate booster as well. Always drink a drink in the ship before you enter, as it gives a bonus to your drop rate. And don't forget to swap to your rare drop rate weapon before you break the red crystal or before you kill the boss. Lastly, get premium for a 50% try boost effect. If you don't want to pay for premium, well, this is the channel for you. I also make a few guides about getting premium and AC completely for free. My newest one is a 100% passive way to get premium and AC for free, and it's a recommended choice, but watch both of them to get more information, and that will be linked in the description down below. And that's it for this video. If you liked this video and it helped you out, please hit that like button and subscribe for more videos. At 1,000 subscribers, I'm finally going to reach my goal of being monetized, and in all my videos, a portion of revenue gained from this channel will be donated to nonprofit organizations who help disabled veterans like me, and by watching, you are contributing. That would be a huge milestone for me, and I thank everyone here for their support. Thank you all for tuning in and listening, and until next time.